Hi, this is Soumya Acharya and I am the author of the best-selling book The Power of Emotional Healing and the founder of High Performing Teens. I'm so delighted to be able to speak with you today in my mastery session, and this episode of mastery session is called 6 Things I Wish I'd Learned When I Was a Teenager, and I'm going to be diving straight into it right now. Now, the first thing that I wish I had learned when I was a teenager is you can either be world class, you can leave world class, or you can play with negative people. You can't do both. Let me repeat that again. You can either live world class or you can play with toxic people. You can't do both. Now, what do I mean by that? The majority of people who are good, who have the ultimate potential in them, end up suffering and end up having lack of creativity and productivity because they are surrounded by such people who are toxic, who are energy drainers, who are negative naysayers, who are dream stealers. And when we surround ourselves with such people, obviously our performance and productivity would definitely come down because we wouldn't have any energy in doing some creative work, because we would have spent all our energy in listening to them or handling the situation that is caused by them, or trying to subside the situation. So most of our energy is going to be dealing with situations that comes across us. Now, where would we have time to invest in doing something creative or being productive, right? So the first thing, if you are a teenager or if you are a teenage parent, what I would suggest you is to ensure that you surround yourself, or you ensure your teenager is surrounded by positive people who wants to grow, who wants to elevate themselves. And when they are towards growth, when they are oriented towards growth, automatically your teenager will benefit from the attitude that they carry, right? Now, many of the students come to me and ask me, what if it is my mother? What if it is my father? What if such negative energy is coming from my best friend or my sibling or whoever that may be, right? My only answer to that question is people come to your life for either reasons, for seasons, or for lifetime. Every person comes into your life to teach you a lesson, or to elevate you, or you are going to be learning some lesson or the other through them, and that's exactly the reason they are in your life. Now you need to decide as to what sort of people you're going to be associating yourself with. Now, when you're not feeling good about a particular person, is it wise for you to just move away from that person and concentrate on things that elevates your growth, or get into the same whirlpool of emotions that you're already going through because of that person? Now, the second question is, how do we identify that person, right? It's pretty simple. Now, if you're not able to identify such people, what I would suggest you is start journaling. Make 2 columns in your book. On the left hand side, make a list of all the people who make you feel down, where you don't feel good about yourself, or people drain your energy out. You feel very uncomfortable around them. On the right hand side, you make a list of all the people who you would like to associate yourself with. You feel good around them and they are always interested in your growth, right? So when you make 2 columns like this, you automatically will get to know as to who are the people you need to associate yourself with, right? The bottom line is, your circle of influence can make you or break you. So as I said earlier, you can either play a victim to these circumstances or situations, or you can play world class. You can't do both. So please ensure that your circle of influence is positive and you associate yourself with positive, growth oriented people. The second thing I wish I knew when I was a teenager is, whatever happens, either good or bad, is for your own growth. Now, A lot of people might feel, oh, that's something which is very interesting. How can everything be, for our own good? You might be facing few terrific incidents, and you might feel, your ego might say, oh, that was horrible, that was horrendous, that was a hard moment. I wish that kind of a situation wouldn't happen to anybody. That was a hard meeting, that was a difficult moment. This is your ego talking, your ego chattering, and it is talking because of the underlying fact that you have fear. So ego is really the voice of fear. Now what you need to be doing is raise yourself to your higher self, wherein your primal genius is there, is residing, and that is where your real hero instincts lie. Under the leak lurk of your core, under the layers of fear, disbelief, pain, hurt, that is where you will find your inner power. Strongest are not those who avoid pain. Strongest are those people who move forward in spite of the pain that they are going through. Because they realize that on the other side of the fear and pain, the victory lies. Right? So people who are playing big, the legendary leaders, do not avoid pain, do not avoid fear, but what they do is right opposite of what the masses do. They go right through their fear, they act in spite of the fear, and they get success. So what I'm trying to offer to you at this point of time is, don't be a resentment collector. Do not be a victim to your circumstances. A lot of people, what they would say is, it's all about being positive, it's all being in the sunshine and things like that. But you know what? It's not really true. Life is all about facing challenges and overcoming it. And the more you overcome challenges, the more tougher and stronger you become. And if you think life is all roses and puppies and rainbows and sunshines, I'm sorry to say that it's not going to be that easy. Because life is definitely going to kick you down. And the real legendary heroes are those, in spite of being kicked down, they get up and fight again. And that is what, the kick is what makes them stronger and stronger. And every kick they go through, they get up even harder and they kick back even harder, and that's how they become tougher and be capable of handling challenges that comes their way, handling obstacles that comes their way. So remember, life is definitely going to knock you down. Life is definitely going to be bitter. Life is going to test you at every step that you take. But remember, the more it knocks you down, the true warrior is one who gets up even after being knocked down hard. And that is what builds resilience in each of us. And that's what is going to build resilience in you if you are a teenager who's listening to this. Right? So remember, whatever happens in your life is definitely for your soul's evolution. Forget about your ego. Your ego will say that it is hurt, but it is definitely required for your soul's evolution. And whatever challenges you go through in your life, it is life's way of teaching you to get away from your ego and move closer towards your soul's purpose. And you need to encounter certain situations and circumstances and certain people in your life for you to realize that fact, that you need to understand what you are really born here to do. Right? So the objective of the whole speech that I gave right now is to make you understand that life is not always roses, and whatever happens in your life, whatever circumstances you go through in your life, or whatever people you come across in your life, you are definitely going to be knocked down, but you have to get up again, and that is good. So consider every adversity, every challenge that you face as a gift, because you will learn a lot through your adversities, through your challenge, than your success. And that is what determines how you will be able to handle your success when you attain success, because you will be grounded. You will be grounded and humble enough to accept success and also give the credit to all those people who helped you in return. Remember, whatever you go through is for your own good and it's for your own growth. The third thing I wish I had learned as a teenager is getting up early and having a morning routine, and that will give you a cut edge competitive advantage, because those 2 hours in the morning, be it 5 to 7 or 6 to 8, I would prefer 5 to 7, but most of us sleep late, so 6 to 8 would be a preferable time. 5 to 7 or 6 to 8, if you have 2 hours for yourself wherein you work on yourself, work on your heart set, work on your mindset, work on your health set, work on your soul set, I don't think anybody can beat you in the longer run. Mindset is important, but understanding your soul, understanding why are you here, what do you stand for, what is it that you want to do in your life, what are your values, what is it that you're made of, what is your core, what are you as a person. You will have time to work on those, because morning hours are the time wherein there is not much of traffic, there is not much of noise, it's pretty silent, there is solitude, there is peace, and peace is definitely needed if you want to be creative and if you want to understand yourself more. And those 2 hours that you dedicate for yourself, for developing yourself on all the 4 pillars that I just mentioned, oh my god, I can't believe what miracles you can create on this earth. So having a morning routine is definitely a core advantage. I wish I knew this when I was a teenager. Nobody had taught me this. But remember, have those 2 hours in solitude, build yourself up, work on those 4 pillars that I just mentioned, self-reflect, journal. Those 2 hours are going to be building you like anything and preparing you to face your life with full of confidence and dignity. Coming to the next point, the fourth thing I wish I knew and I had learned when I was a teenager is there is a difference between being busy and being productive. A lot of us are held up with so many things going on in our life. Everybody are busy doing their own stuff, doing their own work, rushing to the meetings, attending phone calls, saying yes to everybody. Right? Most of us are yes masters. But what we need to do is we need to start saying no and respect our time politely. If we start saying yes to everybody, we will not have any time to work on ourselves, to produce our craft to the world. Right? So we need to understand that in a world of distraction, we need to respect simplicity. We need to respect ourselves and our time and start saying no to things that is not helping us or serving us. Schedule your time. Schedule your prioritized activities. Do not jumble up your activities in your calendar. Prioritize your tasks and schedule everything that you're supposed to be doing on that particular day in your calendar. And if it's not there in your calendar, you're not going to be doing it. It's as simple as that. So once you start respecting your time, others will automatically start respecting you as well as your time. So the key is stop saying yes to everybody. Don't be a yes master. Learn how to say no. Right? So it's not about how much busy you are, it's about how productive you are. And you can be productive only when you are in a position to manage your time effectively. Time management is the key here. Alright? And I really wish somebody had taught me this when I was a teenager. The fifth thing I wish I'd learned as a teenager is, do not worry what others are doing. All that matters is who you are becoming and how far you've traveled. So of course we are in such a world, in a digital era where we are constantly connected with each other through social media and other platforms, and we are trying to constantly compete with each other, which I don't think is a good idea. I want to state a quote here. Theodore Roosevelt mentioned, "Comparison is a thief of joy." Let me repeat that again. He said, comparison is a thief of joy. Now, majority of us are bothered about what others are doing and how are they doing, where have they gone, which vacations have they taken, what clothes they've bought, where have they shopped, what sort of bags they have, what sort of technology they are using, what sort of phones they are using. We are always bothered about what other people are doing instead of concentrating on our craft, on our abilities. Right? So stop thinking about what others are thinking about you. Majority of them are following the herd mentality. Right? If somebody is doing a particular thing, the other person is following the same thing. But if you want to be amongst the classes and not the masses, you need to be doing exactly what the herd mentality people are doing. If they are following a particular activity, you're supposed to be just doing the opposite activity, because that is what is going to be making you think. That is what is going to be igniting the genius within you. In fact, most of the people, if majority of the people are doing a particular thing, mostly it's going to be wrong, because they are thinking from the scarcity and the comfort zone. If you want to reach and do what the classes are doing, the class people are doing, you need to be doing some extraordinary things. And that can only happen when you focus on your lane instead of juggling with different lanes that other people are following. Right? So it's not about how much you have achieved. You can't achieve and climb the Mount Everest in a day. It's a process, and that can't happen in a day. Similarly, if you have some projects to complete, you can't complete that in a day. But there are milestones that can be achieved and that can be tracked, and each milestone has to be celebrated. Every single success has to be celebrated, and that is what is going to be boosting you up to achieve that bigger milestone. And if you want to reach your Mount Everest, stop comparing yourself with others and stop competing with others, because most of them are not even aware of this fact. Follow your lane. It's all about what you are becoming and how far you have traveled. Focus on all the victories. Focus on all the small wins that you have achieved, and definitely you will be able to achieve the bigger milestone and bigger success as well when you are able, or when you are capable of celebrating the smaller victories that you have in your life as well. Sixth thing I wish I had learned when I was a teenager is, the most loving person in the room wins. I always believed that a person who is courageous, who is strong, who is ambitious, who is focused, always wins. But it's always the other way around, because it's all about what value you bring to the other person on the table. It's about what service you can provide. And it is a very good business strategy if you're going to be getting into a business, right? So your foundation should be based on what is it that you can provide to other person on the table, how much value you can provide, and your services should be based on the value that you deliver or you render instead of the other way around. And when you're genuinely interested in connecting with people and understanding them and being humble to them, kind to them, polite to them, obviously your business and your money matter related activities will be taken care automatically. In fact, the money takes care of itself when you focus on building your relationships, right? Most of the time, it's often considered that a person who is polite, who is humble, who is kind, he or she is always considered as a weakling. but it's the other way around. They are the people who really know how this game works, right? Business is all about a people game. Now, if you know how to deal with people and how to establish a connect with them, how to build relationships, how to build a community, how to render service, there is no stopping you. So this is one of the finest lesson and one of the valuable lesson anybody can learn. And if you are a teenager, please pay extreme attention to this pointer. Be loving. It is not a sign of being weak. It's a sign of being equally tough and solid. Alright. So I hope these 6 pointers that I just mentioned have or is going to be helping you in some way. And in case if you like the video, please do not forget to hit the bell icon and subscribe to my channel. I also have a very special gift for those of you who have stayed till the end of the video. I have a special gift for all of you who wants to understand how you can improve your performance and productivity if you are a teenager. And in case if you are a teenage parent watching this video, I'm sure this video, this resource guide is going to be coming in handy for you as well. So you can click on the description and you will find the links below for the free downloads of the resource guides, which is going to be helping you to enable a stable ecosystem for your teenagers, which would help them to become high performers. And if you are a teenager, no need to say, you can pick up the download and see the checklist that I have for you, which is going to be definitely giving you a very good idea as to how you can become the high performers in your community or in your society, right? There is also a link mentioned in the description which routes you to my Facebook group. And in case if you want to stay connected with me for more such insights on productivity, performance and personality, I will be sharing more such content and videos in the group. So you can click on the link below which will route you to my Facebook group and we can stay connected, right? So thank you so much for tuning in, and this is Soumya Acharya signing off. Cheers. Bye-bye.